Hi, everyone, and welcome to day 3 of Aphrodite Rising Live. I am so excited to interview my friend Nina today, and I'm going to call her on the screen. And today we are not going to have any tech issues because I said so. So let me just make sure that we are live here, and we will get going in just a second. I'll wait for a few people to hop on. Let's see. Okay, cool. There we go. All right, Miss Nina, I'm going to call you in. Let's see here. All right, this is the fun stuff, you guys. All right. Okay. And here. Oh, no. Okay, cool. Let's see. All right. Here. Yay! We figured it out. It's happening. Okay. So, hey, Nina.
Hi.
Hi.
I
I forgot
forgot
to
to
ask
ask
if you
if you
have
have
headphones.
headphones. Oh, yes, I do.
Okay, you
Okay, you want to run it up?
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks.
Cool.
Excuse me, wearing pajama bottoms.
It's okay. I secretly wanted you to show everyone that. I'm just kidding. Hey, Raven. Yeah, Raven's in the house. Love it.
Yay, look at all these friends.
Yeah, so excited. So, hi, friends. Welcome to everyone who is here and who's watching the recording. I am here with Miss Nina, and we are going to be sharing all about confidence and freedom today, which I'm so excited about. And this interview series is part of my Aphrodite Rising Live series, and this is all in preparation for my program launch, which is going to be in February. And really excited to be able to share some new content with you all. So hello to all the beautiful ladies who are joining us, and we are going to get started. If someone can comment and let me know how the audio is, do you guys hear any background noise or anything? I want to make sure you can hear us okay. Start there before we jump in. All the good stuff. All right. Well, we'll wait and see. If anyone says there's background noise, we'll work on that. Okay, cool. So, Nina, welcome back. You just got back last night.
Yeah, thank you.
1 o'clock.
Yeah, I got home really, really late.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we're happy to have you here. And okay, thanks, Raven. Appreciate that. I think the static should be gone. Okay, cool. So Miss Nina is an amazing coach. She's really stepped into her power as a facilitator, as a coach, as a yoga instructor, all the things. And I'm really excited for her to share her philosophy around freedom. So I know that's a term that a lot of people want and a lot of people desire in life. And a lot of people are not currently experiencing that right now. So I'd love to hear from you what your journey was and when you first started to experience like true freedom in your life, what that even means.
Yeah, I think it's a word that is thrown around a lot. And, you know, my entire life, I've always felt this like unending desire to just do whatever I want and to play and to just like run free. And so I think it's always really been ingrained in me. And when I was young, I was an only child raised by my mom, and she never put a rule on me ever. Like I pretty much always did whatever I wanted, and I never got in trouble. I always showed up to my commitments, and I got great grades, and I never did anything, any more stupid than any other regular kid would. And then it was when I got older, I think like teens through my 20s, that I started feeling the need to be a certain way in order for people to like me or to love me or to get the things I thought I needed in life. And so, because I didn't actually grow up with siblings in the home, learning how to make friends was something that I did really, really young. And I think I more understood how not free I was when I was in my like mid to late 20s living in San Diego, and I was partying all the time, and I was running AWOL, this like destination music festival. And I just realized that everything I was doing was just not what I really wanted to be doing, that I had created this role for myself that I thought I needed to play in order to be loved. And I kind of woke up in this, role, this mask that I had created. And I was like, oh my God, this isn't even me. Like, I don't even like this. I don't feel good partying. It's not fulfilling. It's not fun for me. This isn't how I want to share my love with the world, but it's the only thing I've ever known. So, like, what the do I do now? And so, for me, it was breaking out of that and learning who I really was as an adult, and then trying to gain confidence in that person and feel safe enough to express who I really was. And for me, that really started when I moved to the Virgin Islands, getting out of my environment and away from the party industry. And I was presented with this opportunity to show up as who I really was in that moment now. And I realized just how not authentic I had been through most of my 20s when, I played this role of somebody who was really confident and really in alignment and really authentic. And I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, that's not even me. Like it just isn't. So for me, it kind of started, I would say 4 or 5 years ago when I moved to the Virgin Islands and like really started walking down like my genuine path toward health and love and the awakening and all of the things that genuinely make me feel like me.
Yeah. So what I love is you describe freedom in like two different ways. The first way was freedom in like, I like to do what I want and I don't have to like be like controlled by certain rules and things, which I think a lot of people internally, when we're constantly being told what to do or have so many rules and like life has to be a certain way, we want to rebel. So that's the first thing. But then what I thought was so amazing that you shared is like freedom to be your authentic self, like freedom to be you and to not have to be the masks and all these things that we just aren't, because that's a trap in itself too. That's constricting when we're not able to be our fully expressed selves, right? So that's super
Absolutely.
powerful, and I love that definition of freedom, which I think that that's actually what people are seeking, is to really be themselves, and it's painful to not be yourself.
Yeah, and that's really what I found was exactly what you just said, that not being myself became so painful and isolating that it actually didn't matter how good I was at making friends or getting people to like me, because that wasn't that hard. I've always been able to make friends because I had to from such a young age. And, waking up and realizing that all of the love that I had received and all of the friends and popularity and being invited to all the cool stuff, that none of that genuinely fulfilled me at all because I didn't feel safe to express what I really felt. I wasn't being honest about how I felt about how women are treated or who I wanted to be in the world and what I really felt about spirituality. None of those topics felt welcome in the life that I had built for myself. And then I felt trapped in it. And so for me right now, freedom is not a destination. It's not a thing that you get to. It's a lifestyle. It's constantly being vigilant and having the awareness of where I'm not showing up as my true self. Am I choosing from a place of trying to get something I think I need? Or am I choosing from my real place of freedom? Is it just my choice because it feels inspiring? And so, what I like to offer people when it comes to living a life of freedom is getting to a place where you feel safe showing up as who you really are, and knowing that the relationships and the fulfillment and the activities and the friends, the people who are aligned to that version of you, are who are in alignment with who you really are. And that love is really the only love worth seeking, because the other kind doesn't feel genuine, because the thing that someone is falling in love with is the mask that you've created, not who you really are. It's not your heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can totally relate to that. Growing up, I, was really trying to be someone so that people would like me, and it came across as confident, which is our second topic that we're going to dive into. But like this mask of confidence, which I think that you and I so like embodied as our non-authentic selves or our younger selves. You and I have known each other for a long time, and like seeing us both on this side of confidence, like the difference between like the true inner confidence of worthiness, of like truly valuing who we are in the world and what we have to offer, versus like this confidence of like I can be whoever I need to be so that I can have friends, or acting confident but really inside being this like scared, insecure little girl, right? And
Oh
then
my
being
gosh, yes.
bitchy or mean or like saying certain things because to compensate, right? So I'd love to hear from you, your journey with confidence, and if you can relate to that inner confidence versus like true confidence. If that's something that you can relate to, I'd love to hear more about that.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I love that you and I have this history. We've known each other for probably longer than 10 years. And I connect so deeply with what you said, that confidence is something that people have always seen in me. It's something that I've always exuded, but it's definitely not something I've always genuinely felt. And so, exactly what you just said, I projected this image of being so confident. And inside, I was like deeply insecure, like so afraid of not being liked or not being pretty enough or good enough or strong enough or in shape enough or just you name it. Like the I'm not good enoughs were so rampant when on the outside people used to see me as this incredibly confident, even intimidating at times woman. And people would say that to me and I'm like, oh my gosh, if they even knew like the girl that's inside that's so afraid of not being liked, they would be shocked. And so, real confidence for me came when I started to realize that I felt ripped in two, that there was this deeply spiritual, intuitive, loving, connected part of me that could witness the magic around me. I knew that I had gifts that were unexplainable to the mind, and I ignored a lot of those for a large part of my life and played this like popular party girl where I was smart and funny and intelligent and all of those things that still are a part of me, but I thought I needed to be a certain way in order to project those qualities. And so what ended up happening is that I actually felt unsafe in every world, because when I was in the, conscious community, I felt like a fraud because I was like drinking and doing drugs and like, totally out of alignment on the weekends. And then when I was in the party scene, I felt totally not confident because I knew that that's not really who I was, that there was this other side of me that was louder and more calling. And so when I allowed myself to let go of this other role, the way that I thought I had received love my whole life, when I was willing to basically risk everything I ever knew about how to be loved and liked and all of that, I gained genuine confidence because I stopped splitting myself in half and I stepped fully into who I really am, which is this loving giver who sees the world as a place that is healing and one and connected. And, when I stepped into that fully, I got to live what it was that I was trying to teach or trying to feel. And when I became it, then I was able to teach from that place and to have genuine confidence where this is who I really am. And I'm able to share this knowledge because I've done it, because I've lived it and I've practiced it. And I really know what it's like to be in the other world and to feel kind of split. And so there was so much confidence and like a settling of who I am and my own energy and what I have to give and offer and the place from which I speak once I was able to fully choose what I knew was my genuine path, my real self, and being willing to let go of every single thing that's not in alignment with that. So,
So good.
yeah.
I can totally relate. And I think anyone who's currently living in their true alignment with themselves has had a moment where they've had to really get to that place, that scary place where it's like, I'm willing to give up literally everything that I have, everyone that's in my life, like in order to be this person that I know I'm supposed to be, because living not in that way is so painful. So we get to this place of like, it hurts so bad to not be our true authentic self. And it's not fair to the people around us either, because we're not being genuine to them either. It's like getting to that painful place. And I can totally relate to that, like deep pain of being in two different places, trying to be two different people. And like, so good. So yeah, I know that that transition is a hard one, and that is what we call taking the leap. Like literally, like being willing to risk it all and going for it. And what's on the other side of that is magic. And that's really what I think you and I are both experiencing in this lifetime and where we're at right now is like, whoa, like life is so much different and so many things come our way when we're in alignment, when we are our true self. It attracts the things that we want and need to have.
Yeah, and it's so powerful. And I've always been able to create magic around me. And then, just as you said, when I really stepped into it, when I really, really chose it and was willing to let go of everything else, it was just like it catapulted like crazy. And the cool thing is that I'm not the only one who has that. I know that anyone who is willing to courageously and radically choose their own alignment over everything else will experience that same momentum and that same magic. And they'll look around at their life and be like, oh my gosh, like how free am I? Did I really just create all of this in my willingness to let go of anything that is a no for me, everything that is not a match? And you're right. It took, I lost a lot of friends. I lost what I thought was my social life. I moved, I quit drinking. It was not always an easy transition. And I had to experience enough contrast to have the courage to choose my authentic self, which means, basically getting to a place in my life where I hated every single thing that I was doing. I didn't like my job. I didn't like where I was living. I didn't like who I was being. I didn't like my friends. Like nothing worked, nothing. And I was just like, all right, I'm actually willing to let all of this go, all of it. I don't care. All of it can go. Done. And then what's left? Who's left after that? That's who I really am. And that's when like the momentum and the magic started happening. And it happened immediately. The moment you step into who you really are and you really, really choose it and you just say like everything else, it just happens immediately. You don't have to wait, for who you really are to show up, because it's who you already are. You just have to take off all of the crap that we've built up on top of it for so long, and all of the stories about how we'll be alone if we don't do this or be this or act this way. And it's really, really fascinating. And that's why I'm so passionate about like teaching that, because I went through it, and having that experience of like waking up and being like, oh my gosh, I actually love my entire life now. And I certainly have not always felt this way. I need to give this gift away. People need to know this is possible. I want to scream it from my proverbial mountain, which is now like Facebook, basically. But,
Yeah.
I genuinely feel like if people all stepped into who they really were, the entire world would be such a softer, more contributive, like beautiful place. Because when we just give to one another from the place that we're at, the synchronicities that happen and like those beautifully symbiotic relationships, they just form and they just happen. And so that to me is like really where the magic lies, and like co-creating with other people who are just aligned to their own gifts, and like seeing what magic occurs from that place.
Totally. Yeah. So powerful. I love all of that. And, I think you and I, just as with all of my guests so far, I could literally talk all day. And, we want to make sure that everyone stays engaged. So we want to go for about like 5 more minutes to make sure that we give you guys some good nuggets to take home. And, you're not just watching two people who have done it. We really want to give you the power to know that you can do the same. And I 100% believe that this is available, accessible for everyone. And I know so many people are searching for this. So Nina, for the busy woman who like literally has created her life where there's like no time for herself, or where she's in a place where she either doesn't like her job, is unhappy with her health, just like knows there's things that are not working for her, and it keeps coming up that she's not where she wants to be. What's like one place for her to start to access freedom? Like where can she start? Is there a question she can ask herself, or is there something that she can do to start to shift, or break that cycle?
Absolutely. And, I have a formula, and it's what I teach in my program. But rule number one for everything is feel good first. So coming into alignment, finding out what you need in order to be in alignment. What does that mean for you? And so I always start with physical needs first. So get the body to a place where it feels safe, because if the body doesn't feel safe, the mind is never going to relax. We're not going to open unless we feel safe. The mind's job is survival. And so feeling safe is really the precursor to opening. And opening is, opening to our freedom, to our love, to our gifts, our magic. And so, what I invite people to do before anything else is figure out, what do I need in order to feel good in my body? So sleep, hydration, nutrition, movement, reflection, meditation, like those are like the big six. Find out what you need in those categories and start committing to them over anything else. Like nothing is more important than you feeling good first. And then from that feeling good place, you can start to do some of the mindset work and start to open to your own creativity and what your gifts are and how you might want to contribute them, etc. But number one, feel good first. Commit to your own feeling good on a physical level and then see what happens. Because if we're in survival mode, if we don't feel good, if we're just trying to get through the day, if we're tired, it's almost impossible for us to be open.
Yeah. So this is your permission for those of you who are watching to be selfish. And when I like this term selfish has been so misused and it's kind of like becoming this popular thing that we all talk about. But really the distinction that I've been making with my clients is the difference between being selfish and self-honoring. Someone who's selfish doesn't care about how they make other people feel. They only think about themselves. They just, they act selfish. It's a very different energy versus taking care of yourself, self-honoring, making time for yourself, saying yes to you first so that you can say yes to others is like, it's the most giving thing that you can do to yourself and to the world. Like, it, no brainer. So we get to break that pattern. And you and I are so on the same page with like the body gets to be aligned because when I was sick, when I was tired all the time, when I had digestive issues, when I had like skin flare ups, it's like, it's really hard to show up as your authentic self or even want to make changes when you feel like crap all the time.
Absolutely. And it was the first step I took in radically changing my life was cutting out everything that was not an absolute hell yes to feeling good in my vessel and to really, really, really honoring who I was. And just like you said, if what I want to do in this world is share my love and my gifts and show up, I can't do that if I don't have my love to give. I can't give love if I don't first have it. And so it really is such a precursor to being who, everybody wants to contribute. Everyone at their core loves and wants to give their love. That's what we really, really want. And so, we have our eye on that end destination. How can I contribute to humanity without realizing that it actually starts with us? And not only can I only give from my place of fullness and health and, self-love, but choosing to take care of yourself at that level is an instant inspiration to every single person around you. If I say no, I'm actually not going to that birthday party because that isn't my inspired yes, I'm going to go to yoga instead. Someone on the other end might think, oh, wow, I can do that. I can actually just choose myself and my own health and alignment over committing to somebody else. Because the person that I show up as when I'm full and loving and abundant is so contributive. But the person I show up as when I'm tired or cranky or hungry or not fulfilled is not contributing to anyone. It's definitely not contributing to me, but no one benefits from my presence if I'm not in my own alignment. And so, like you said, it's a gift to yourself, but really it's a gift to every single person that you come into contact with.
Yeah, I'm laughing just at our similarities. And I feel like when we knew each other in, we'll call it our past life, one of our past lives, we clashed because there was a lot of probably like insecurity meeting insecurity or whatever it was. And like, I can just, yeah, I just feel you. And I'm so, so excited about the work that you're creating in the world and what you're offering, really your true authentic self. So I'd love to have you share what you're working on, what you're launching, and how people can find you.
Yeah. So I run a program called Experience Freedom. And, it starts with the first step that I just shared. And we take it a lot further going into healing your trauma. So you really, really feel safe to uncover who your authentic self is. How do you live from that place and truly make it your lifestyle? Clean up all of your relationships and just really feel good in who you are, how you're responding to life, and then start to actually create the life that you really, really want to live. Choosing from a place of abundance and knowing that that's actually our inherent nature is that worthiness and that abundance. So I actually have 2 spaces left and I start on Tuesday. So I have 6 days until I launch. This is the second round that I'm teaching it. It is 4 months of group calls. I do one-on-one sessions. In addition to those, we read a book every month. And then included in that is a 6-night retreat with me in the Caribbean at just this epic retreat center. And I have a yacht for 2 days and we do yoga, cooking demonstrations, meditation. There are art projects that we create together. and just really bask in our abundant nature. It's kind of like real life vision boarding, where I take you and, honor the work that you're doing on yourself. And then we come together in person so we can really celebrate one another, integrate this work, love each other in person, and then notice how abundant we are by being in the experience of extreme abundance and really just celebrating that. So yeah, it's like my favorite thing on earth to do. I created this program last year, and it's just the most fun I've ever had in life, is helping people radically change their own experience of their life, and not on an external level, but starting from within. And then as we really transform how we feel about ourselves and step into who we really are, then the reflection, the external manifested world, is nothing more than a mirror. It starts to reflect our truth and our love and our kindness and our gifts. And it's just so much fun to watch people, choose themselves and step into this and do the work together. So yeah, if you wanted to find me, I'm on Facebook and Instagram at it's Nina Camille. So ITSNINACAMILLE.
Yay. So you guys go ahead and find Nina, and I can totally tell, you can tell when someone is doing their soul's work and when they're passionate about what they're doing. There is no faking it. Like, it really is just like coming and beaming from like your soul, from what you're here to do. And right now, right here, this is what you're here to do. So thank you for sharing that and sharing that energy. And I also, thank you for your time today. Thank you for being here. And for everyone who's watching, I am hosting a masterclass this Saturday. It's a free class online at 10 a.m. It's my Aphrodite Rising, Goddess of Love, Healing, Health, and it's really for busy women who are struggling with their health, struggling with body image, or struggling with their weight, and have tried lots of different things, but really want to go to the deeper level. So if you're interested in joining me on that, type in the comments below, I'm interested. I'll go ahead and send you the info, or you can send me a private message, and I'd love to get you tuned in there. So thanks again, Nina. You're amazing. I love you. I want to keep talking forever.
Thank you so much, Amy. I just wanted to also note that my group is co-ed, so I take men and women together. So if you're a man watching, I would love to invite you in, because it's really fun to see what is possible when we heal together with men and women. It's really, really magic. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for bringing that up. I was actually going to mention, I specifically work mainly with women. I love men too, but Nina's done a great job at creating a co-ed container, co-ed space, and that would be a great option for all of you men who are watching. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and comment below, share this video for whoever you think that this would be supportive with. And I will be on tomorrow. I have a few more interviews this week, so make sure to join me here. All right, you guys. Bye.
Bye.